Alright, hey, what is going on, guys? Ali here, back again with another review for you guys today for The Rising of the Shield Hero, episode 7 and 8, I believe. And obviously, one second, I'm doing a double review because last week I missed that episode. I don't remember exactly what I was doing. I think I was working, or like I also went to a convention, ACEN Anime Central 2022, down in the Midwest in Chicago, or not down in the middle in the Midwest of Chicago. So but I also made a bunch of I got a lot of footage from that, so I'm gonna end up being like making a vlog and everything for the convention later on, maybe this week. I'm gonna finish it up and everything and post it. So I hope you guys are excited about that. And what else? I think this episode, or this review, I'm mostly going to just talk about like just a bunch of things I like and not like specifics in the episodes and whatnot. Because the last like 4 or 5 days, I've just been like working and working and like kind of nonstop and everything, and I was like severely tired yesterday, so I didn't record my review for both of those episodes. But I did watch both of the episodes yesterday, which I absolutely loved. Both episodes, they were both just fantastic. I loved every single thing about them. But anyways, like, this review is going to be more of not specific details about things, but just things in general that I really loved about the episodes, like the 2 episodes. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into this review. First off, episode 7, I really enjoyed with, like, just in general, just the like connection that Kizuna and Raphtalia had, or not Raphtalia, and Kizuna and Nafumi have, in that like they are both from Japan, so they're both like thinking about these like different things of like, like first, like they, even though they got out of that infinite labyrinth, they're still in enemy territory in the country that captured Kizuna and stuff, and they have to get to a safe place. And Kizuna mentioned this this other country, or this other city, that is the one that summoned her and everything, in that like that is the safest place that we gotta get to. So she's suggesting we should go there, but then it's gonna take too long. So then she's like, okay, we'll go get go to a dragon hourglass. And Nafumi's like, you guys have dragon hourglasses here and stuff, and like it's very interesting, like the similarities between both worlds, but how separate they are in general too. Because when she said that, like, yeah, I can teleport like using a reverse dragon vein, I believe that's what's called, that only the cardinal heroes and the vassal weapon heroes, they're the only ones who can use that and teleport using the dragon hourglasses and stuff. And the one that's the closest is in the capital of the enemy territory that they're in. So then, like, she's like, okay, we got it. We'll go over there. We'll get to there, and then we'll be able to finally, we can go and get to a safe place and everything. So that was like really cool to see that, like, just the dragon hourglass part of like the series is like, in this world you can actually use like teleportation and stuff with it and whatnot. I think that maybe the hourglasses in the other world that Nafumi is like from, or not from, where he lives and whatnot, with the other dragon hourglasses, I feel like those actually do that. But maybe I'm just like, but maybe they just haven't even like tried it out or anything like that. I don't know. But, or maybe I'm just wrong, and it's really just the, like, that different and whatnot. But anyways, moving on, like Kizuna taking them to that capital, and what was really cool and what I really liked was just like the interactions with it. Like, this is why I loved both episodes, is because the interactions with all the characters, like Risha, Raphtalia, now Fumi, and then like, Kizuna and stuff, and he keeps messing with her, like not necessarily making fun of her, but like messing with her, being that like, don't you mean lolly, or don't you mean like little girl, like Chan? Like, it was really funny and cute, even though like she's literally like a year younger than him, or only like a year or two younger than him. I think Nafumi's like 21, right? 21 or 22. But that whole interaction was funny. And then like them talking about like these different types of like races and stuff who are technically demi-human like races and everything. Like talking about, say, these, I believe they're called like these grass races. Like it's just called grass, but then like Nafumi's talking about like how they're pretty much elves. Like they look like elves and everything with the pointy ears and whatnot, like straight up from like a fantasy like novel and everything. And then you got Risha being like elves, like what's going on and stuff. And again, I think it's funny, and I love it how Kizuna and Nafumi are connecting with each other in terms of like, Japanese and like the folklore and stuff like that, because when they got to the capital, it very much looked like traditional Japanese, like, like an ancient period type Japanese, like everybody's wearing kimonos or yukatas while they're walking around. The buildings look very like traditional Japanese looking and whatnot, and it makes me think that like maybe this world started like Kizuna's world specifically, maybe it started out with like people way in the past actually being summoned here, and they brought like a lot of their influence of from where they live, which is like Japan and whatnot, and Japanese, and brought it here, and that's why it's so traditional Japanese-esque and Asian looking and Asian-esque and everything. I think that might be the case, but like continuing on with them talking about like these races, like the grass race, which is pretty much elves, and then you got the jewels that she's talking about, and then like like Therese is actually not even a human, she's a demi-human, because she's part of the jewels race, which was really freaking cool and very interesting. That revelation was very cool. And then you got another like interesting revelation in that Glass is a spirit. She's a spirit. Like that's what her race is. So that was like very interesting. And then when you think back to season 1, that's why Nafumi's soul eating shield was able to damage her so much. That was the only reason he was able to really put a damper on her abilities and stuff, is because he had that soul shield, or he still technically has it and stuff, but just to see that was like really awesome. Like, and have that revelation of like, thinking back to season 1, that like, why was like Glass so like, she seemed so OP or broken? It's because she's a spirit. She uses spirit like power, like energy and whatnot. And then just to hear like not just that like her being like Glass being a spirit and everything, and then her being strong, like at the same time what Kizuna is saying, that like magic also kind of like is a double-edged sword. Like it's more of like something that's not good for Glass too, because if she loses her essence or her spirit power, energy and whatnot, she disappears, she dies. That's what spirits are and whatnot. So that was like very interesting to see, and something that was also like really fun, really funny, and really fun to see and whatnot was that like Kizuna's talking about this stuff, and then like Nafumi gets reminded of like what Lark gave Glass in season 1, which was like a soul potion or something like that. It replenishes the soul and whatnot. So he like was making all this stuff, like just to see Nafumi being the salesman that he is, or that he was back in the beginning of season 1, was so fun, was so funny. They messed with Risha, being that like, oh, Risha has all these like bottles to sell all of these like people from the spirit race and whatnot. They're being so excited about it and whatnot. And then Kizuna trips Risha. Like, that shit was so funny for them to, like, they had to make money and whatnot. So now Fumi makes, like, or struts his salesman stuff, and they get a whole ridiculous amount of money to finally get to, like, getting in and get food, because Raphtalia is always hungry. It is so funny to see, like, this Raphtalia again. Like, she's staring at Risha's food and whatnot. Like, she's consistently always hungry, and that's just, it was so funny. Like, it was so good and was so funny. So then they got to, like, the part of the capital where like the hourglass, or the dragon hourglass, is. But then, like, them knowing about, Kizuna telling them that, like, only the cardinal heroes and the vassal weapon heroes can actually do the teleporting type of stuff. Like, they got to hear through a little bit through the grapevine and whatnot, that there's a noble dude that is saying, who, a genius, saying that he can actually do teleporting just like the cardinal heroes. Like, he was like inventing some sort of, like, way to be able to teleport just like the cardinal heroes, and just like the vassal weapon heroes. And so, like, he clearly, by the end of the episode, realized that he's connected to Kyo, and Kyo's messing with Naofumi. And, like, at the end of that episode, when Raphtalia was taken and stuff, when they were about to use the hourglass, the dragon hourglass, or Kizuna was about to use the dragon hourglass, they all have to be close to her so that she can go, or that they can all go with her, since they're all part of, technically, her party and whatnot. So they get there, and now and Raphtalia, most beautiful soul ever. She's just, I love her so much that, like, I was always, or, like, literally what she said, like, I was always scared, or when I became this small again, I was scared that I wasn't going to be any of use to you and whatnot. And she's just saying, like, I'm your sword. I'm always going to be your sword and stuff. And just to see her with that little sword was so funny and cute to me. And, like, before they got to the hourglass, like, she was actually still, like, protecting Naofumi and just her group and stuff, which was just, like, it's so cool that she still has that strut. She still has that strength, like, mindset that, like, she always had. She always had such a strong mental, like, mindset, a mental fortitude. Like, she always had that, even before she became an adult in the first season. Like, she was always like that. Like, she rallied her village together before, like, they were, a bunch of them were taken and stuff and tortured and everything. Like, she was that girl, or she was that person that stood up, even though she was, like, 10 years old or something, standing there trying to rally her village up and stuff. Like, you don't do that when you got the mindset of a 10-year-old. Like, she was so mature at such a ridiculously young age. It's crazy. So just to see that again in this episode was amazing. And then, Raphtalia wasn't able to, go with them, which was actually kind of heartbreaking. It got me, like, pretty emotional with everything that she said. Like, thank you so much for, like, I was so happy that I did become small, at the same time that I also thought I was going to be useless, because, like, he patted her head again, he carried her on several occasions again, and she was so happy that she could feel that again. Oh, like, my heart was just singing. And then they get separated, and very heartbreaking stuff with that episode 7. I'm pretty sure that that's how it ends. Now, let's get into episode 8. I loved episode 8 because, like, you're really seeing, like, the rage shield kind of haunting Naofumi again, like, with, like, his anger and hate, not only with Kyo, but then seeing Filo and what she went through in this episode. Oh my gosh. Like, just to see, like, she also transformed a little bit, like, into a different race, because Filolials apparently are not in this world that Kizuna's from and where they all came from. And, like, man, just to see that, like, Filo being pretty much alone and pretty much being tortured and everything, and even the bystanders or the customers watching this dude trying to make this bird sing and everything, like, it was heartbreaking. Like, even they were like, I feel sorry for her, she's, like, crying or some shit like that. But again, they were customers, they can't really, like, they all can't just straight up raid this person, because it turns out this guy was the son of a noble and stuff, and he tortures animals on the side, or so, like, But anyways, like just to see Filo alone, because we never seen her alone before. Like she actually truly was never alone ever in the series. So to see her alone, her first experience alone, being tortured, like that immediately traumatizing. For Filo, and not just for Filo, for like Naofumi too, because at the last episode he just missed Raphtalia, like they were separated, and then Filo, he finally found Filo and everything, and even before that. But I'll talk about what happened before that, because what happened before that was like adorable and everything. But like Raphtalia being separated last episode, and then Filo, like him realizing that Filo was separated and like all alone and stuff. But not only that, realizing that she was pretty much being abused and tortured by this piece of shit dude. Like now Fumi's like, I'm going to kill this dude. Like I'm like the rage was coming out, and then we saw a glimpse of like that zombie dragon, from the first season that got killed, and now Fumi pretty much absorbed it, and like you're seeing the image of it again. You're seeing the rage shield again, a little bit coming out and whatnot, and like, yo, it was some serious shit, like stuff, and I was like, oh, like freaking out just a tiny bit. I was like, ooh, now Fumi, don't do it, my dude, don't do it. So like Kizuna and Risha were trying calm him down a little bit, and Fumi's like, I don't care what happens, I will murder this person, I will torture this person, like until he gives us any info on like Kyo and whatnot, because anything anybody does could very well be Kyo doing some shit. So now Fumi's extremely cautious about literally everything. So that was pretty like fantastic and whatnot about like now Fumi's mindset, right? Thought somebody was home. But yeah, seeing that, and now Fumi's like, I'm going to torture him until he like spills some information and whatnot. And like then Kizuna, with this whole thing was funny when Naofumi said that, and then Kizuna's like, you gotta question him first, and then Risha's like, is there any difference? Like, is there? Because I mean, which was really funny, because technically there's not really a difference if he's like Naofumi's torturing him to get information, and then Kizuna's saying to like question him before like torture him and stuff. I thought that quick scene right there was like really funny. So anyways, like just to see that, and then like the moment that Naofumi saved Filo, I actually cried. Like I actually teared up and cried, like just seeing Filo jumping on Naofumi and crying and holding him, like, oh my gosh. And then like her sleeping in Naofumi's arms, like just holding on to him, like, oh my gosh, it was like the sweetest and cutest thing, that you just want to hug Filo and be like, it's okay, I'm here. Like that whole thing was amazing. Like I didn't expect myself to cry. Like I got emotional and I got teary-eyed and I started to cry. Like that was like really, really good, that entire scenario. And then like Filo is just clinging to Naofumi like the entire time, which was really cute, but also like really funny, but also at the same time like really sad, because like she never wants to be separated from Naofumi like ever again and whatnot. So I love that moment. But a moment that I did not mention, I forgot to mention, when we got to the capital of like the country that summoned Kizuna, like the safe country, when she finally was able to teleport back, and her followers came and like were like, Kizuna-sama, you're here, and everything, like they're freaking out and happy and whatnot. And then like Naofumi's angry because of what happened with Raphtalia, and then like with Kyo doing that and everything. But we're seeing like Kizuna interacting with her people and whatnot, and then they realize that Naofumi is part of the other world and everything, that like that he eventually might have to destroy this world or attack this world and whatnot. And that's why her followers are angry, saying that like you got to stay away from him and whatnot. And then she's like, but he saved me and everything, like I understand her a lot, but then I also understand these people too at the same time. It's like very thin ice, very like right next to each other, so you got to find a silver lining type of thing. And I thought that was great too. And then like just to see, I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Is it Eshnol or something like that, or Feshnol or something like that? But Kizuna's friend, one of Kizuna's friend, who is actually the boat hero, the boat vassal weapon hero. I'm like, that is such a unique, like, vassal weapon, like a boat. We got to see this guy because, like, he is really good at, like, teleporting and traversing things because, he has a boat. Like, that's his vassal weapon and whatnot. And so we got to meet this guy. And it turns out that he's a descendant of a monster that protected, like, this world, which was really cool. That, like, now Fumi has such a keen eye with people. He looks right at him and is like, are you really human? And he immediately transforms into that giant rabbit, which he looks adorable and everything. It looks really cool and whatnot. And for some reason, he was okay with just showing Naofumi his true self, like, immediately. Like, he can immediately trust Naofumi. I mean, Naofumi is a very trustworthy person in general if you don't screw him over with certain things or certain scenarios, instances, and whatnot. So that was, like, really cool to see and everything. And just also, like, the Shikigami type of, like, part, bro, this was amazing. All right, we got this, like, first of all, Kizuna naming her Shikigami Chris was really funny. And it turns out, like, pretty much Shikigamis are, like, familiars and whatnot. And she uses Chris. Kizuna uses Chris, her Shikigami, to want to find Glass because Glass is her best friend. She wants to know where Glass is right now and everything, which was really cool. And Naofumi needs to find where Raphtalia is, right? He needs to know where and what's going on with Raphtalia. So then he is able to, like, here's the thing. To make a Shikigami, you need blood and pretty much DNA of two different people to, like, combine them and turn them into a Shikigami. So he takes the hair, like Raphtalia's hair, from his shield because he saved some of it. Like, he always puts things in his shield just in case for things. Takes out Raphtalia's hair from his shield, uses his blood, and he creates the most adorable familiar that I've ever seen in my life. He immediately looks at this familiar, or the Shikigami, and immediately sees Raphtalia, and I love it so freaking much. It's their baby. It's their child. It's their child. I don't care what anybody says. Now Fumi's blood, Raphtalia's hair creates this, who, like, Filo calls RAPH-CHAAAAN. Bro, Kizuna-chan, RAPH-CHAAAAN, bro. It's so... Oh, Raphtalia, RAPH-CHAAAAN is so freaking cute and adorable. I love how the little critter, like, moves about and everything. How adorable it is. And the summoning or the transformation into, like, RAPH-CHAAAAN, like, transforming stuff was beautifully done. Animation was beautiful and everything. And I loved it. I love that whole moment so freaking much. It's Raphtalia and Naofumi's baby. It's their child. It's their child. I don't care what anybody says. That's what it is. I think I'm done. Talking about these two episodes. It was a good time. I loved it. I loved both episodes. They were fantastic. They were so much fun. Like, again, a lot of it is, like, the interactions with the characters in general, like Kizuna and Naofumi, kind of reminiscing about, like, things from Asia, Japanese and whatnot, and then Risha and Raphtalia being confused, and then Raphtalia being a little bit jealous that Naofumi is really having, like, real good conversations with Kizuna because they connect so much in terms of, like, Japan and Japanese and stuff. And also their outfits, phenomenal, fire, like, straight fire. Like, they're like traditional looking, like, samurai, like, ninja kunoichi, like, type of vibes that they have. Like, their outfits are just absolutely phenomenal, and I loved it so much. But yeah, again, Raphtalia's jealousy type of thing came out and whatnot, which was really cute and funny. And it was a good episode. Episode 7 was great. Episode 7, and then episode 8 was actually phenomenal. Everything with Filo made me cry. Like, the way she's so clingy, I'm like, that's your little girl, man. That's your little girl, not Fumi. That's not just your pet. That's your little girl. And Raphtalia is your girl. But I mean, they do have a kid. They do have a little child, in RAPH-CHAAAAN, bro. Just gonna say it. That's their kid. That's their kid. But anyways, that's how the episode like pretty much ends with them getting to that capital and like finding Filo and everything and whatnot. I'm excited about next episode, what's gonna happen and whatnot. We're gonna see where Raphtalia is apparently, because there's an end credit scene. She's in like some snowy place with like some giant, I believe like traditional like Japanese castle on top of like a snowy mountain and whatnot, which is really cool. Next episode is called the Katana Hero, which I feel like Raphtalia is gonna learn a lot from the Katana Hero, and I don't know if the Katana Hero is gonna be evil, it's gonna be good. Who knows? But I'm excited to see. I feel like she's gonna learn a lot from this hero though, since Raphtalia is a sword wielder. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. I'm excited about everything. Like, it's gonna be good. But anyways, again, these two episodes are fantastic. What did you guys think about these episodes? Leave down in the comments your thoughts about these episodes, your thoughts about what I said about these episodes and whatnot. Again, like the video, like the episode, anything I had to say, or just like me in general, comment down below and whatnot. And subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and theory discussion videos and things like that. So gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy, but most important, everybody, you gotta stay a little nasty, alright? So peace and love, and I will see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always, plus ultra locked home. Locked home, Shield Bro is back. I'm happy I got to do a review today. But anyways, excited for next episode next week. Peace out, and I'll see you guys later.